I think when you're little, you feel that the friends that you had would be your friends forever. You made friendship bracelets for each other out of that brightly colored yarn. Those moments of sharing secrets and crushes and learning how to navigate middle school in your group, per se, seemed like they would last a lifetime. But when you get to high school, you think that you feel more grown up than those certain middle school friendships. And I remember those middle school friendships disintegrating right at the start of my freshman year. In the back of my mind, I thought that these high school ones would overcome that convenience factor that I realized that a lot of middle school friendships had. And I quickly became super close with two girls named Maddie and Jordan. They were loud, funny, always down for an adventure, and we became completely inseparable. We spent every minute not in class together. People called us the Three Musketeers. And looking back, we experienced all those firsts of high school together too. First jobs, first boyfriends, first parties, so many moments. It was as if we were trying to navigate high school through each other. But it wasn't all amazing. I remember feeling the most comfortable around them, but not comfortable with myself. And it quickly became very insular. We made ourselves an accidental clique. Spending time with other people would make each other jealous. We were very dependent on each other. I was guilted in going to parties and things that I didn't want to go to, being around people that made me uncomfortable, and I'm sure I did the same thing to them. Our time together was fun, and we never really talked about deep things together. It was more like we saw the ugly and good parts of each other without ever really talking about it, until things bottled up. We would go through phases of huge falling outs, huge ones. I've never seen friends argue like that anywhere else. It would be ganging up on each other, fingers frantically texting paragraphs of not so nice things, and tears, so many tears. The summer after the end of high school is when it became clearly toxic to me. I had been spending time at my lifeguarding job and spending a lot of time with those friends. And that shift came subconsciously. Jordan and Maddie got so mad at me for spending time with them. And at that point, I really didn't understand why. But I was neglecting them. And it seemed like I had found new friends. I really didn't mean it, but it came to a head at Lollapalooza. Things were said that could never really be taken back. And it ended up with me making the ultimate decision to tell them that we were not going to be friends, maybe ever again. And I think that took a huge amount of courage for me to do. That subconscious realization of why things were so toxic was something I had been avoiding for years to deal with. And it wasn't because they're terrible people. They're not. Some relationships are just not repairable, and maybe not meant to be. I truly never thought I would need to leave those specific friends behind. I was so used to relying on them. I saw them in my future, and I never cut somebody out of my life like that. How was I going to survive college without knowing that they would be there for me? But I am proud of myself for doing what was best for me, what caused me the least amount of pain, and limiting my own dependence on those relationships. I'm proud of myself for having the courage to confront what my problems were. And to overcome that, I told them simply what was going to be. It is really hard to tell people you love that you cannot be there for them. And that's what I think courage ultimately is. Just doing something, anything to be there for yourself. And it often is super uncomfortable, maybe something you've been avoiding for a while. But courage is finding that inner strength to do. And honestly, I think we can all find it in us.